I am Lamont at Large, and I am coming to you from a town in Missouri by the name of Skidmore. I am here to show you the town of Skidmore, but also to tell the story about a man that you definitely would not want to live in the same city as, much less be a next door neighbor to, and that is a man by the name of Ken McElroy. There is much to say about Mr. McElroy, none of them good. The words punk, bully, criminal, scumbag, child molester, rapist, many things are attached to his name. He was the purest form of evil. A man that you do not want breathing your good air. This I can attest. One of the most wickedest men to ever walk this planet is Ken McElroy. A book was written about his story in 1988. It's called In Broad Daylight by Harry N. McLean. Also, a TV movie starring Brian Dennehy and Marcia Gay Harden was made in 1991. So let's do a little quick rundown of this bastard's history. He was born one of 15 or 16 children. He was born to a poor migrant worker in Overland Park, Kansas. Even as a snot-nosed kid, he would often get into trouble. Just his life story, he was just born a bad egg. Born with no scruples, no morals, no nothing. He literally terrorized this town for many, many years that he lived here. He was indicted over 20 times for various crimes. Crimes from child molestation, robbery, cattle and hog rustling, statutory rape, burglary, attempted murder. You name it, this guy has done it. He's done it all. And amazingly enough, all the times he was arrested, all the times he was indicted, nothing ever stuck to him. For some odd reason, there was never any real proof, never really anything that the law could stick to him. But his bullying reached a crescendo in 1981. One of his kids went to a local grocery store here in town and was caught by the owner, whose name was Ernest Bowenkamp. He caught his son stealing candy. So here comes the bully, Mr. McElroy, with a shotgun threatening the store owner for him chastising his son. They get into a heated argument. McElroy pulls out a shotgun, levels it at his head, and pulls the trigger. Mr. Bowenkamp was shot once in the neck, almost died. Thankfully, he survived. McElroy was arrested for attempted murder and was convicted, but was released on bail pending an appeal. So while McElroy was out on bond, he had went to the DNG Tavern, which is the local watering hole here in the town of Skidmore. He went there with his rifle, and for all of those who wanted to hear and listen to him, he was threatening Mr. Bowenkamp on what he was going to do to him, and that he was going to quote-unquote finish the job. The local people in this town, they were very worried about this guy, so they all went to the city hall and they asked him, what can we do to protect ourselves from this guy? This guy's going around threatening to kill Ernest Bowenkamp, we don't know what to do. And the city hall and the local sheriffs, they told him, hey, listen, just form a neighborhood watch. But the townsfolk got sick of it. They got real sick of it. So this is formerly the DNG Tavern, long since abandoned and closed down. This was, of course, the local watering hole for the town of Skidmore. And it is here that on July 10th, 1981, Ken McElroy was in here drinking. He pays his tab, grabs a 6-pack of beer, and heads out this very door to where his truck was parked, which was right at that very spot. His wife was waiting for him on the passenger seat. Everybody that's in the tavern comes out. There's about an estimated 45 or so people just all out on this street right here, just surrounding his truck. That was his day. That was his judgment day, folks. 2 men pulled out their rifles. One of them was a .22 rimfire rifle. The other one was a centerfire rifle. And each of those men fired at least 2 or 3 rounds right into him, right next to his wife, almost killing him instantly. And they just packed up their guns and everybody walked away. This is where Ken McElroy met his fateful end, right at this very spot. Just a bully, a cretin of a person. Just a true devilish, disgusting, vile human being. If there ever lived one so on this planet, he would definitely share the throne with these wretched creatures. Technically, this is still an unsolved murder. The only person that called the police was Trina McElroy, Ken's wife. All the townsfolk people just turned around and walked away. The bully was no more. Sheriffs came, investigated. Nobody said anything, and nobody cared. About 5 years after his killing, Trina McElroy tried to sue the town for $6 million for a wrongful death. They eventually settled out of court with her for $17,000, and she took it. She took that money. She knew he wasn't shit. She said to hell with it. She just wanted to get a couple bucks. Probably all the hell and bullshit that he put her through. She said, "Oh, the hell with him," you know. She later moved out of Skidmore and got remarried. She died about 5 or 6 years ago from cancer. One of the more infamous unsolved murders, but it's a murder that nobody wanted to solve. Whoever was behind the 2 rifles that shot and killed him deserve a medal. Now we're going to go drive back to St. Joseph, Missouri. We're going to go visit the grave of the Skidmore bully, Ken McElroy. And here we are. We are at the Memorial Park Cemetery here in St. Joseph, Missouri. We're going to go find the grave of Ken McElroy. And there he is, ladies and gentlemen. This is the Skidmore bully himself. This is the grave of Ken Rex McElroy. 1934 to 1981. July 10th of 1981 to be exact. His grave says, brave, fearless, and compassionate. You weren't brave, you were a bully. And you weren't fearless, you were a fucking coward. Unless you had a gun in your hand. And compassionate? No, your heart never knew what that was. But maybe the Lord can have compassion for your soul, because there's only one place that you deserve to be. You were a liar, you were a thief, a cheat, and a rapist. And you're exactly 6 feet under at a place where you belong. I know pretty strong words, right? Pretty strong language, but this man right here deserves every bit of it. This video is not about this idiot's grave. No, this video is about the courage and the sacrifice that a town had to go through to rid themselves of this moron. One of the most famous unsolved murders in United States history, and you know what? It'll never be solved because nobody gives a shit. You belong where you're at, sir. You belong where you're at. Lamont at large. I'm signing off. Thank you, guys. Peace out.